Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Brady Jensen, and I've decided to do our first presentation on the case study titled A Team Player. In this case study, we have Barb, who is a team member of an audit team on a client. And during the audit, another team member named Diane comes to Barb and informs her of a discrepancy or deficiency she found in the inventory system of the client. Barb suggests to Diane that they should inform Jessica of this deficiency discrepancy. But when she says that, Diane is worried about it because she was the one that ended up performing the inventory, the audit on the inventory and the inventory count, and she should have found the discrepancy then. So she's worried that she's going to get in trouble, doesn't feel like they should tell Jessica, really scared of the repercussions that are going to come. As they bring it to the rest of the team members, they end up taking a vote, and in the beginning, four total vote to not tell Jessica. And then there's two of them, Barb included. Barb and Haley are the ones who decide not to, or that they do want to tell Jessica. The team continues to talk and discuss the matter, and then they, come to a conclusion that they're not going to tell Jessica about the discrepancy. As they continue to, time goes on, and Barb starts to think, she gets really worried about the decision, starts to think if it was the right decision that they made, kind of wonders, what if Jessica finds out another way? Is she going to be mad at us? Then she asks, what if the deficiency is bigger than what Diane thought? And what if it ends up affecting the client or is an indicator of other errors that the client has? And so she starts to go through these and then decides to bring it to the team again that they should tell Jessica. The team shuts it down pretty quick, and they remind her, they tell her Jessica is a stickler to the budget. They don't want, she doesn't like to go extra, and any overtime outside of the budget isn't going to be able to be billed to the client. And so at that point, Barbara's kind of faced with this question in her mind, do we tell Jessica? What do we do? And kind of I wanted to first analyze this by using Kohlberg's model. We're going to look at Diane and those that are with Diane and kind of where they're at on this. So identify Diane at level 1 here. As you can see the arrow here, level 1, you're really interested in yourself, your best interests. And I put Diane and the others here because in stage 1, you're obedient to the rules because of avoidance of you're obedient to rules, but also you're driven by the avoidance of punishment. And then stage 2 is satisfying one's own needs, because I kind of put her there because she's worried about the repercussions that are going to come from telling Jessica about it, because she thinks that Jessica will be mad because she should have found it in the beginning. And so that is the main reason why she doesn't want to tell. Now Barbara, on the other hand, I have identified her here in level 2 at the beginning. The reason she decides not to tell Jessica in the first place is because she's thinking of others' needs. So she's thinking of Diane's needs at the moment. Diane doesn't want to get in trouble. Diane's worried about that. And so that's kind of what drives her to make the decision of, okay, fine, we won't tell Jessica. But then as she goes on thinking about the repercussions that it could have, I moved her down to level 3, probably in stage 5. Here she's starting to realize, there's these social norms, social expectations of her, kind of these universal codes of conduct that should be followed. And that kind of gets her thinking about that and why she takes it to the team again. Now, what would I do in this situation? So we've got Barb. She's thought about all these questions, has this dilemma, and the team still doesn't want to do it. So what do we do now? I think Barb is right. I think we should definitely tell Jessica. I would start by pulling Diane aside, kind of start talking with her first individually about the situation. I would tell her that I understand that she's nervous of the repercussions and she's nervous to get in trouble by Jessica for not finding it. But I would also point out, to her benefit, that she did end up finding the discrepancy. Yeah, it was after, but she was one that found it. So it's not like someone else was doing her job. She ended up doing what was asked of her in the end. So Jessica probably wouldn't get mad over that. If that didn't really get us any leeway, I would then ask her how big she thought the discrepancy was, and if she totally understood or found all of it. And if she wasn't sure or not positive, I think that would be a big indicator for her and a big help for her in deciding to tell Jessica and let her know about it so they could further investigate it and make sure they get it all figured out. once I had Diane on at my side, I think it would be pretty easy to get the other team members because they were kind of backing her up. And so with her help, I think we'd be able to get the rest of the team to decide to tell Jessica. Yeah, there might be a little bit of pushbacks, but I think once I could get Diane, to decide to tell Jessica, I think we could get the rest of the team to go. That's what I would do in this situation. And I hope you enjoyed this presentation today. Thanks.